Let's get started. Okay, call the meeting to order at 4:30. Roll call.
Colleen Williams.
Kelly Smith.
Rob Bukovac.
Joe Martinez.
And Rick Johnson. So we have a quorum, proof of notice. There's no time to me, so
We need to identify this.
I'll do that in a second. Make sure the minutes are okay. I went through and made several changes. Anybody else? There were three sets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
4.
4 sets. For the special meeting, everything's okay? Any other feedback or comments?
None from me.
No, I think I'll sign it. All right. We're gonna move right in. We're gonna move our agenda around a little bit and do right into public comment. So, anybody who wants to speak, number one, make sure you signed in. Number two, please identify yourself. And 3, please, because we have a full agenda today. Keep your comments brief, 2 to 3 minutes or less, please. So who wants to start? And first of all, thank you for all coming. And who wants to speak? Go ahead.
Hi, Matt Graham, Pony Fire Protection District. To the new director, I don't know you. And your name is, sir?
Dan
Dan?
Moynihan. Yeah.
Dan Moynihan. You're from, where were you from originally, before coming here?
Well, originally I'm from New York City.
Okay, New York City. Okay, Los Angeles County, do you know how big it is? It's largest one in the state, 5th largest in the United States. The other 4 are in Alaska. You need all the help you can get. You've kind of come in here and you've upset a lot of people by, I think myself, taking advice from people you shouldn't be, getting rid of people that you haven't even learned to know yet. You've been here less than 2 weeks, I take it, give or take. And you've got a good crowd here. I can see it here behind me in support of this person who is a good EMT on an assumption without investigation to even check out the background. We work in a hazardous environment as it is. So does emergency personnel in the ER. I myself believe that you're getting off on the wrong foot, because if you know the expanse of how big this county is, my district alone is 900 square miles. And with the sheriff's help, he keeps adding on more, almost making it 1,000. So you've got a lot of area to cover just in my district alone that your people have to learn. I don't know how to put it in a polite way, and I'm not going to get rude if I can help it. The choices you're making, listening to individuals that have been here a long time, are the wrong choices. I suggest that you start listening to others' input besides certain individuals. I'm sure there's people on this board that like me and dislike me, and they'll tell you about that in the future. I'm not a nice guy and I'm not easy to get along with. Matter of fact, I'm the squeaky wheel when I've had to come to this board before. To get greased once in a while, I will make it known and stuff. But I hope the board's listening also to these comments. I know they have in the past, and I thank them for listening, because they did put back in the newspaper, and I thank them greatly for that. But I do believe you're starting off on the wrong foot.
Matt, if you could please wrap
And
up a little
stuff.
bit.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say, is that you're stepping on a lot of toes and you're upsetting a lot of people.
Thanks for your comments. Okay, who else? Identify yourself, too.
Oh, yes, I
Could you
am.
maybe go closer filming?
Mr. Johnson, Board of Directors, Public. My name is Dominic Ricker. Everybody knows me as Jimmy. I'm an EMT or back here in Trinidad District for the past 7 years. On January 26th, I was summoned into Mr. Moynihan's office along with Mr. Greg Williams to be reprimanded for a simple assault charge. No papers were presented to me at that time as far as accusations. So what I've done is I'm here to defend myself. I have some statements and a written statement from myself, and that I would like to present to, would you pass those down, please? Either Mr. Land or Mr. Moynihan. Been an integral part of this community for most of my 59 years. I'm an advocate for a lot of community service, a lot of fundraisers that I do. I work with a great bunch of people. I volunteer for many different things. I feel that this action against me, and I'm not quite even sure what action is against me, to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, gets rectified this evening. So I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Fire Chief Buddy Carroll,
But if
Victor
you
Peak
could
Fire.
get it, please.
I just want to reiterate the same sentiments. We're here to back Mr. Verker up 100%. We've worked with this gentleman for several years on our district and would like to know exactly what took place, why there was no investigation, and why he was terminated. And we're here to support him 100%. Any questions you have of me? That's my sentiments.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, Mr. Johnson, I got here late, so I didn't sign the sheet, so I don't know if the board will allow me to speak.
You bet. And you're on the agenda anyhow. Yeah.
I don't know, other than rumors that I've heard as to why his dismissal was done. I don't know if they're true or not, or the basis of the investigation if there was one done. The thing is, though, I've had contacts with these individuals here as not only as the sheriff, but as the fire warden. We are a very large county, as mentioned before. We need to learn how to work together. If there's some problems that we can overcome or things that happen, none of us are human, are free of misconduct or actions that we do sometimes. What we try to do is make sure those actions are not viable to somebody's health or danger or something like that. Sometimes that does happen when we do it, especially as the sheriff. When we go on call, somebody gets hurt sometimes. Not because we intend it, but that's the way the life and the reality of the world that we live in. So I don't know exactly, as I mentioned, what succumbed from his dismissal or request for him to be dismissed. I just know that there are so many people in this room here that came here to support him, that we all work together. We all have one thing in common, to give of ourselves to the community and the citizens that we live in. A lot of us are volunteers. We don't get paid for some of this work that we do. Our department people here, they're QRTs that you come under your jurisdiction, they're free. I mean, you train them and all this, but they don't get any money for it. So when you have people that are willing to help and give of themselves to the community, and sometimes maybe one person's disagreement isn't another person's, or somebody's comment is not that same with somebody else, we need to look at the broad picture and the whole picture and say, hey, is he doing good for the whole community? Myself, when I ran for sheriff the first time, I'd say if I could at least satisfy 90% of the people in this county, I was happy. It's my third term already. Reality isn't like that. You have to be able to please the majority of the people you work with and serve, because you're never going to please everyone. My grandma used to always say, if you hang a guy with a new rope, he'll still complain. And that's human nature. We tend to do that. So with that, I'll be quiet, but I don't know the purposes, but I think it should have been checked into it as to why, how come, and the validity of the source or why that happened. And like I said, I only heard rumors that it was in the courtroom. Well, I've been there myself personally in the courtroom. And people are stumbling over themselves, tripping, pushing each other because they're trying to give the medical treatment that that person needs. And today I'm here because of that, functioned by these medical people.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Identify yourself, please.
Yes, so my name is Phil Phillis. I'm the volunteer fire chief of the Copedale Volunteer Fire Department. I am here to voice my support for Junie Verker. I've worked with Junie on the fire line. I've worked with him on medical calls, and I've worked with him on search and rescue. And as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the finest individuals in this ambulance district. And I would just like to voice my support 100% behind him, and what he's done previously has been outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lloyd Holloman, Stonewall Park. Ditto to what Bill said, guys. Everybody in this 4-year out here is in support of Junie. Everybody knows Junie. Junie is one of the individuals that actually started this QRT program. He's the one that supported it over the years. I don't know if he needs a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, but I don't think his first chance is over with yet. I hope, guys. Like I say, I don't know all the details, but I'm concerned because we've had a loss of a lot of the QRTs and a lot of the EMTs in the area going elsewhere. I don't know if it's money, I don't know if it's management, can't say, guys, don't know. I'd like to see that change. We can't afford, pardon me, to lose anybody. Firefighters, QRTs, EMTs, paramedics. Okay,
Make one.
thank you, guys.
Hi.
Hi, anybody else?
My name is Patrice Phyllis. I'm not a first responder or an EMT, but I am a citizen of Los Animas County. I live in Cokedale. And I had a few things that I wanted you guys to know. I worked at the Trinidad State Nursing Home for 5 years solely on the Alzheimer's neighborhood. During that time, whenever we had the need to call the Trinidad Ambulance District, I personally would feel a lot better when I saw the elevator door open and there was Junie and a partner. They say that, you can tell a lot about a person and how he treats the elders in his family and in his community. Junie had patience, concern, and a huge gentleness about him when he was caring for our elders. He always put them at ease, and we all noticed that. I've always considered him to be an asset to our community. Recently, during the first class for the first new first responders, I do remember the words of our instructor, Greg Williams, and he said, "We are in a classroom setting and we will be practicing many different scenarios, fine-tuning our techniques, and sometimes accidents and mistakes will be made. Accidents here will not be judged, but will be learned from." It was a bit of sound advice, simple and positive, and I'm hoping his words will ring true to us today. EMS here in Trinidad and all the surrounding communities is a high-profile job. As a community, we are thankful that the ambulance district has provided the mandatory CEs, the ride-along, and helping staff as well as the volunteers to stay sharp on their skills and keeping them all up to date. I truly wish the board would consider what I view as an over-the-top reaction to what was an accident with the termination of Junie Verker. So now I wonder, is this going to be our new standard? Will everyone now be faced with a quick termination if someone gets their fingers pinched in a gurney lift? It hurts. A slip and fall on a wet or slick surface, an accidental needle stick or exposure to a contagion. Accidents happen. Nothing deliberate and mean-spirited was ever executed by Junie. It was an accident.
Please keep your comments brief.
It is. It was an accident, and the definition states happening by chance, a mishap, and not on purpose. Let's keep Junie where he belongs, responding to emergencies and being a great example in the community of the quality care from this department. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? If not, they're coming.
We go over there, please.
State your name, please. And keep state your name and keep your comments to a couple minutes.
My name is Jody Stodgel. I was a former employee of the Trinidad Ambulance District from 2001 until about 2006. Then I came back a couple of years later after that. I had the privilege of working with Dominic. Worked with him for about 8 months. He was nothing but an exemplary EMT. I've never seen him intentionally harm anyone. He's always been as gentle and kind and had the best compassion for patients as possible. I'm kind of curious. I had an incident happen from one of the EMTs at the ambulance district. I was stuck with a dirty needle. I never asked anything to be done, but nothing was ever done. That's a much more serious offense than this. Accidents happen, as the last person stated. Thank you.
Could you sign, please?
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yep.
I'd like to speak. My name is Mike Burke. I'm with the United Mine Workers. Lloyd Fernandez was going to be here. His father he had an accident and he's at the hospital with him. So I just wanted to get up and just let you know that there is a drive going on here, and hopefully none of this stuff is happening. Dominic has been really well forward and on this drive, and I hope for any sake that nothing like this has taken place, and that could be an unfair labor practice in this situation. And I would also like to bring out that if the board would, be sure to look into the Ladder Mill Act, and also under the Colorado Peace Act, his rights. I hope you will check into that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is this all the time that you wanted on? I had Roy on to the agenda, so is that sufficient for you at this point?
I had a resolution that I was gonna read and present the board, but I just got up to speak here on Dominic's
We'll do that,
behalf.
we'll do it later on. then.
Thank you.
All right, okay. That's it for public comments?
Actually, he was supposed to speak during comments.
All right, we go ahead and do that right now then.
You want me to, okay, all right. Basically, I have a resolution here, and I'll read it to you and then present it to the board here. But the following terms of this policy, it hereby applies. Number one, the board of the Trinidad Ambulance District recognize a labor organization is the exclusive bargaining representative of all eligible full-time and part-time employees upon evidences of signatures of more than 50% of the eligible employees on petitions or cards. And number two, eligible employees, a defined person employed and paid by the Trinidad Ambulance District is a full or part-time employee except administrative personnel. Number three, the Trinidad Ambulance District Board or the designee in the labor organization shall meet and bargain in good faith concerning the terms and the conditions of employment for the unit of the eligible employees with an intent to reach a mutually acceptable collective bargaining agreement. If the parties are unable to reach a collective bargaining agreement, they shall call for mediation in an effort to resolve their differences. And I would like to present this to the board and hope you would sign this and make this effective. Okay.
Well, obviously, we're not going to do any official action on that today. It's on the agenda, and there's nothing that was prepared for the board. So if you want to use some paperwork, that's fine. We'll take it under advisement and be back in touch with you or Mr. Fernandez, but we're not going to be taking any action today.
You're not going to be, okay. I'll hang on to it and I'll get with you after the meeting.
That sounds fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, Sheriff, I had you before public comments, but I want to put you on now.
That's
on
fine.
The space
That's
issue.
Okay, a couple things, and I think we can probably skip over on the agenda. You had the AEDs, and Dan and I discussed this already, so
Yeah,
I
they
think
were all taken care of.
that's a done deal already for us to get the training and get that on there. The other part was on my discussion, and this has been back since June, that I had conversations with Brandon then, and he was gonna bring that to the board.
Right.
Matter of fact, it was since November we discussed it a bit.
And Sheriff, I just want to tell everybody, I think there should be, in your packet, there should be a diagram of what the Sheriff's talking about, there's the space.
Yeah, that's it.
And Mrs. Babick is here as the new county manager for the county. And when the last meeting was set, she was able to be, so I was the one that was gonna be a spokesman. I asked her if I had the county approval to be here speaking. She's here now, so. Yeah.
That's
This is all we got.
And, no, this is what you have now. This is
Oh,
what
that's
is-
the one that came
That's
out,
what to be.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is though, right now, you're paying for your lease for the ambulance district over there. For 4,917 square feet over there.
Right.
We did a brief overview of the location of the area there. You are paying now for 1,540 square feet, I believe it is, that you're not using.
Right. It's about that.
And when I talked to Brandon, Leslie was there, the county manager at that time, we couldn't come to you and tell you, hey, change it, it's your agreement. If you wanna keep paying for it, the county will keep taking your money, but you're not using it, and it's not being maintained.
Right.
So we have to send the maintenance guys over to clean it up once in a while. I mean, there were probably about I'm gonna say about 2 pounds of millers that were dead in those rooms, so that they cleaned up. So what we wanna do is try to see if you'll amend your agreement, cost you less, and we want to then, on this design here, is revamp those areas in there where we had to put in there with, and Dan was there with Kenny and showed him how it was going to be done, so it would be beneficial to everybody there. The front offices would be used by my employees. Brandon's old office would be used for our emergency manager, so when we had incidents, the internet's there, electricity's there, and it's more feasible than having to put one at the courthouse that they were going to have to do some remodeling and add monies to it, where this one is already there and is not being utilized. I mean, there's some stuff in there still that belongs to TAD, that's their chairs and I think some bottles and stuff like
Miscellaneous
that.
furniture up there
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah.
But,
I thought that belonged to him.
the bathroom, that's part of this design here that would be put in there.
Sheriff, I think the furniture
The
actually.
furniture
does
belongs to the
I
county.
think it does.
That is your furniture. The
They-
desk and the chairs are.
Well, those were already taken out, but there are some chairs that Brandon said were the GADs, those high back ones, black
Office chairs.
office chairs.
Office chairs, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
probably
guess-
They were
some
in the
former
back
board
room.
chairs and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah,
And the
I'm
board
sorry.
table, I believe.
Yeah, and the board tables there. So what
That doesn't
he
belong
told
to
us
the
was
county?
his.
That
We
belongs
left
to
it.
the county.
If it was all bought at the same time, if it was with the 1 cent sales tax monies, then it's all
Okay.
county furniture. I'm just not sure when those pieces were
Well,
purchased.
So-
Brandon just telling me, and I don't know, he's not here to
So
speak,
bottom,
but,
bottom line, do you want us to remove it, or you want?
well, no, we can use it, we'll keep it.
I don't, what's,
It's the chairs, he told me with the ambulance that they had bought
We
them.
need it?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
we
think
need
we
one.
need, you know, my opinion is if you guys can use them, go ahead and use them.
I don't know where
Well,
we put
we'd
it.
be able to use them in there if we make that the
it's a
command
no-brainer, it's a no-brainer to
location.
me, it sounds,
It's property.
just go, whatever you need, please take,
Well, what we probably need to,
but we have to revise the release agreement.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to revise, modify the.
Yeah.
And do the inventory thing like Joe.
yeah, we need to either give them to them or however.
Yeah, can I just, yeah, can we just have you work out the details?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Let's, I would say that we need to work on language to an amended lease
Uh-huh.
and also a list
To
of
donate.
materials to be lent.
Donate, or lent, or
donate,
whatever.
or however.
Well,
And then
if they were
we can
bought 1
present-
cent sales tax, then they're the county's anyway. So you don't have to worry about
Right.
that, because they belong to the county already.
Okay.
Because they were bought out of the
I
1
think-
cent sales tax.
Not the chairs.
Now, the chairs, he said, yeah, that they bought them. So those chairs then, that's what you have to address, that the chairs.
Well,
are
no,
cheap.
I think what we need to do, well, if you guys are okay with moving forward, I think what we can do is just work on an amended contract, and then at next meeting, we can just present that amended contract to the board for approval.
Is the board okay with that?
Yes.
And one other thing, that also includes the 1 bay, because you don't have the other ambulance in there where you had before. There's 1 bay that's not being utilized by TAD.
Is that a problem?
No.
Okay, that'd be his call, I
Okay. Because right now, Brandon allowed us to use it, we had the tractor in there for the winter, so
Right.
they wouldn't have to start it up
Okay.
and
And that's where the hot seat is, so they
and the
can.
hot seat, and that's the thing, we'll talk about the hot seat and getting that wire up there. Because it's a 220 that he bought, what the county had bought was 110.
Right.
So now there has to be a modification to get it to a 220. And he said he was gonna take care of that, but then he left, so it never got done.
Okay.
Well, Kenny said he's gonna find a contract, get me a price on
Okay.
putting that 220 over there.
It'll be the code book too.
Would that take care of it then, as far as the county is concerned?
Yes, so it's my understanding that the board is amenable to adjusting that lease
The agreement,
agreement
yep.
and allowing the county to use that old office space.
Right.
Exactly.
It's just what's their,
Just throw out the
Yeah,
right
and we just
language
need
and
to,
right numbers.
it's a matter of
Language,
just
man.
wordsmithing the contract.
And we can revise the existing lease agreement goes until April of 2014. But we can redo something, redo the amount of square footage that's being used and the.
So we
a
can
new
extend it if we wanted
price.
to at this point.
Yeah, sure, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Probably makes some sense.
and they're putting a door in there for a fire, in case there's a kitchen fire, they can go out that back.
And I would advise the board, if they wish to at any time,
You gotta have
to
it.
go down there, and Kenny will give you a little brief walkthrough of how it's gonna be modified, if you wanna see and know that too.
And you've already seen it too.
I see, essentially he's putting a wall, we're gonna have the 2 bedrooms, the bath with a shower,
Mhm.
and all the stuff we already have, and then they'll use the 1 bay for tractor, and they'll be able to, in the summer, pull that out and wash it.
And then we're gonna modify it, go into the coroner's office for that bathroom in there and do some changes, but that would be off from where Brandon's office is
Yeah,
at, so it's not
behind that.
interfering in your area.
And this is for your incident command?
Yes,
Oh, it's-
and the thing is, there's more parking there, The courthouse, we thought about it there, but then, like I said, we'd have to put some money in it. They use my office when it's there, because there's a lot of parking. But then, I don't have a big office either, so sometimes
Well, you can imagine how.
we're stumbling over ourselves in there too,
Yeah,
so.
this will be extremely valuable when we
Yeah.
have, if it's, say, a major fire, for instance, when you have multiple agencies
Sure.
trying to get together and,
Your command
and
center.
have, yes. So this
It
is,
sounds like a
this will be very
no-brainer to me,
helpful.
so, for us, so we're cool with this.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Board.
Oh, you're welcome, sure.
Thank you.
Anything else on that issue?
And like I said, anytime you guys wanna go down there, ladies,
The guys up there.
ladies, yeah. And look at it and see exactly
I've seen
what
it.
modification can be in there, you're more than welcome to go down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to financials. Tom, do you wanna start out with that?
Well, at the December 31st, 2012, this financial report that I gave you is ready for audit, with the exception of maybe we're going to have to recalculate depreciation a little bit, make a few changes on that. But our total assets, current assets is $3,403,683, which includes $528,979 of accounts receivable. The fixed assets total, after some depreciation, but not all has been calculated yet, is $2,118,181.55. The total assets for Trinidad Ambulance is $5,621,865.41. Our current liabilities is $44,957, and we're showing accrued wages payable on the statement because that's the way we have to handle it, because the payroll issued on December 31st is payable in the year 2013, and that carries forward. And we, on the accrual method, we accrue back the total wages, which is the main, and the taxes and the employee benefits. That taken into consideration, we have our total income that we received for the entire year is $2,485,652.94, of which $1,253,380,752 is property taxes. So the property tax is a big part of the total income. Our total expenditures for the year is $2,263,732,000. Our net income is $221,920, which includes depreciation of $275,000 is calculated right now, and bad debt write-offs of, can't find it here, of $208,000. So if you put those two numbers back together, your operating net profit will be around $750,000 to $800,000. And comparing it to the budget, our total revenue is in great shape. There's no problem with the revenues. The budget, got plenty of budget left there, so we have no problem in that area. Also, comparing to the expenditures, we have spent $2,310,000. Our budget was $3,585,000. We have $1,275 under budgeted, which is great. The line items that are in excess of the budgeted items is medical supplies, is in excess of $20,000. Building repairs and maintenance is in excess of $28,000. And the reason to qualify that, there was a lot, when I went through and analyzed the construction in progress, I took it on my own that there's a lot of small stuff in there that should not have been capitalized in the building, so I wrote it off direct expense to get rid of it. We're not gonna depreciate $650 for 39 years. So that's why your repairs and maintenance is extra large. Okay? The other line item that's in excess, the utilities, $1,807 over budgeted, which is not really a big item. And the reason for it, we're probably paying more utilities here than we were down at the other place. Other than that, the other line item, they're all small, so everything looks fine to me. And like I say, the report is ready for audit. On the final page, you transferred money from the money market to the operating account of $138,000 to cover expenses before the ending year of December.
And Tom, did you talk to Mike Dixon recently to let him know it's what, the change of leadership and maybe get?
Yes, I talked to Mike Dixon. I gave him Ricky's name and all that, and yeah, and I was working with Mike to do the depreciation. We moved into the building here on March 1st, in the month of March.
We didn't take occupancy till
We
June.
moved over in April, I think it was more like the end of February.
No, but only when we take
The
certificate.
cruise did.
Yeah, but officially, yeah.
But we took, yeah.
So you need a date, is that what you're saying?
Well, what I did, I'm depreciating the building and all, some of the equipment and stuff that we have on a 9-month basis, saying that you moved in April 1st.
So did you base that on the certificate of occupancy, or do you base it on when we actually moved into the building?
Well,
If that sounds more like you base it on when we actually started moving into the building, yeah.
In operation.
Right.
Total operation. And then I'm gonna depreciate the building 39 and a half years, because it's a commercial building, and has to be going by IRS regulations.
Okay.
And I'll work with Mike Dixon on the other depreciation for I think we've gone through this before. Some of them it's gonna go 5 years, some 3 years, and we didn't have any new vehicles, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Maybe the next time, the three of you should get together, you and Dixon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
All right, questions?
Yep.
All right. Do you want to shout out some of the financials, the billing?
I think Tom pretty much went over all the financials, so there's nothing to add to that. The only thing I've been looking at is working with the billing company to make sure that our rates are where they should be, and looking at our days in our aging report to see where everything is, how we're collecting the money. And unfortunately, they were moving last weekend. They just moved into a new building this week. And I had some questions about some of the, like Medicare is showing completely within 30 days. There's nothing past 30 days. So now that they're in the new building and if they're settled for the next report, I think we'll have a better grasp of the aging and a better list of payers. The other thing I discussed with Tom is the board already approved a budget, and you kind of have the items, the line items that you have in the budget. But if we replace a light fixture or we buy toilet paper, it goes under building and maintenance. So I think it would be more beneficial for us to track the expenditures by creating a chart of accounts that's a little more detailed, so that if it's a janitorial thing or a crew expense or something like that, we know that that's what it is, and it's not just, cause otherwise you don't know if the building is, a lot of work is being done on the building, or if we're buying soap and paper towels and things of that nature, so.
Well, I think it's a good discussion to have, because, you know, the budget came together kind of in a vacuum to some extent. So with Dan on board now, maybe we should, we do want your input on it, maybe reformatting, I guess?
Yeah, you just come up with a chart of accounts, and when we're doing our accounts payable, April would assign that to a chart, so we know what specific thing it went to, and it just gives us a better idea of where that money went, rather than just kind of a broad category of.
Well, we need to revisit this whole thing again. It's time for us to, like, he should not be doing all of this, and, you know.
I'm thinking maybe, I think we should sort of put ourselves under a timeline, maybe the first quarter, by the end of the first quarter.
I agree.
Go back to it, because we shelved it all.
We did.
And so.
And then Brandon's departure and stuff like that, it wasn't appropriate for us to go forward with it, but we need to go back and revisit this whole, how we're managing this.
And like I told them, as far as the report that I give that comes off the computer, I can code anything any way that he wants it on here by giving a new chart of accounts, or I can create a new chart of accounts to break down building and maintenance. We can have janitorial, minor repairs to the office, and then major repairs to the building. I can break that down, that's no problem. The problem is, I'd have to combine those three numbers to put it into the budget line item as building and maintenance.
Well, but we can,
still
but
have the
we
detail.
can figure that out too.
Right,
I mean, we
right.
should have things that look the same, that we're not second guessing all the time. And the other thing is, this looks really verklempt. You know,
We gotta move on, we really do.
yeah.
Do we wanna revisit?
I told Joe when he said that, I said, I know the board wanted this on an Excel spreadsheet, and then he never answered me back.
It's
The
okay.
numbers are messed up.
They're just wrong, they're just, it doesn't even look right.
There's no way,
It's just
no way
confusing to me
we,
too,
we
frankly.
did 500.
No. It's just, it's all,
It didn't look right to me either, but I have to use that
I
number
know.
to put it together.
Well, what do we want Dan to do right now? Or should we just go back, is it up to Dan now, or should we just go back to our?
you know, we had a plan,
Mhm.
first two crashed. It's a third option.
This is for December, 14 million in write-offs.
And what, we were the committee, weren't we?
Yeah, you and
I think the committee should meet again.
So let's do that, let's just look at,
Yes.
make a note that you and I will revisit
Yes.
it maybe starting next week sometime.
Absolutely, you
Before
know,
the next, board- have a recommendation for the next board.
I agree, that's what we should do.
Okay, all right.
And understand that the first one is everything they've done since the day they started billing for us, which really isn't that useful.
It's meaningless.
It's right.
So it's just not right.
And Clay, maybe it should be the three of us.
Yeah, that's fine, you could be on our committee.
Okay,
We like friends.
okay.
So let's just do that, just you and I and the three of us get together.
Yeah.
All right, that being said, any other comments or input on the bill?
Did
If
we get
not-
any billing reports?
That's what we got.
This is what we got
This
for a billing?
it's,
Okay.
That's why
so
we
the
need.
answer is,
we're
is
gonna-
we're gonna fix this
now that the dust is
for the
settled.
next meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it.
Thank you.
It needs to be fixed.
The rest ain't settled.
All right, I guess we need a motion then to just accept the financial report.
I move that we accept the financial report.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
Colleen Williams, yes.
Kelly Smith, yes.
Rob Buchvac, yes.
Joe Martinez, yes.
And Rick Johnson, yes. And I guess the same thing with the building boards, do a separate motion on that.
I can't accept that.
We can't, you know, I
can't. I'm
I
sorry.
think that we need to go back to the drawing board with these people again, they need to meet with us, and I think that it can become part of our committee to get them to understand that, you know, I don't know what they think they're presenting to us.
Let's invite them.
This is ridiculous.
Need to bring them back, I
So
guess.
I guess
Again.
we-
Yeah.
I guess we really don't need to make a motion on that.
I don't think so.
Not the shape they are.
I'm gonna make a
All right.
motion not to accept it.
All right, we'll just table.
I don't like it.
Let's table this to the next one.
Do you want to really make a motion?
I'd like to have a motion that, that we bring these people back in and explain. This ain't,
You know what, and I would guess that that would be an okay motion, except for, we're gonna drag them in on our committee. Rick and I had a committee before that was talking about redoing the financials, relooking at how we do it, who does it, when we do it. These people need to be involved too, so I think we need to drag them back
that's
in.
my deal. You need to get them involved and explain and get it down
Yeah.
to exactly
Well,
what we need.
well, minutes will show then that there was, it will revisit the committee, reconstitute it with a report for recommendations and, okay with everybody?
Fine with me.
All right, okay. All right, Mike, why don't we just bring you back in then right now on the agenda, if you wanna go back? Do you need to have more time or not? Are you,
No, I covered that.
okay, you're cool, all right. Okay, Colleen, you wanna go ahead with the investment proposal?
So I really don't even know really where to start. The bank came up with an investment proposal. We have a bunch of money sitting on our books that probably could be invested better. I couldn't get the investment person down here today, but she sent packages. I don't know if you wanna, you know, it would be laborious to go through these right. Maybe what we could do is you guys could maybe look through them as board members and come back with some questions, or we could meet individually if you want to.
Is this investing?
It is.
I thought we couldn't encumber.
Public funds?
Yeah, we can't encumber them.
Yeah, you can in public funds. You can in a way that doesn't put them in jeopardy.
I would like to have Mr.
We already-
Manager
I think we
please
already
check
are.
on that.
We already
have
have
CDs
We already have
already.
CDs right now, so.
Yeah, but that's,
You're right, it's different. I know what you're talking about. And this is a public fund. I'm not I'm just,
I'd be
I
happy to
just,
take a look at the proposal and see
okay,
if
that's
it
great.
jives with what the
I have no
requirements are.
propensity one way or the
No,
other.
no, it's not that, it's just that based on law, I'm not sure we can encumber
I'm
or
not sure.
invest public funds.
I don't have a straight up answer for you at this point.
Okay,
Could
so
I
here.
defer
Fair
that
enough.
to
Okay.
Mr.
We'll defer
Ward?
to,
I need to-
we'll
I need
we'll
to
pass
look at that.
pass them out and defer to your opinion for February.
Do you wanna touch it?
Do I want to touch it? Sure, I'll look
It's not
at
a
it.
big deal, really.
You okay with that, Colleen?
Yeah, fine. Rob?
All right, I mean, obviously, the bottom line is if we can do something that's responsible and safe.
Then, yeah, I don't have a problem. I just
Well,
wanted to-
there are regulations for public funds,
Right.
and there's special funds, and there's special rates. So you do have to be really careful, and
Parameters.
special district laws and all kinds of stuff apply to public funds, so,
All right, let's just go ahead to
Yeah.
item 10.
it does.
And just for the record, I think we need to revisit where,
Reinvesting in Apple.
where and when,
No,
not
not
when,
right now.
where we're posting our meeting notices. So we've made some changes, so you wanna recap where we are right now?
Well, pursuant to statute, first meeting of every year, which is this meeting, the board is supposed to designate 3 places plus the county clerk recorder's office to post notices of meeting, and then also 1 specific place to post the agenda. It's supposed to be designated and done by through resolution. So that's what's on the agenda. So really, essentially, we just need to talk about where we'd like to post them. Right now, we're posting them at here. Well, obviously, the clerk recorder's office, so that's required. The other selected places are here, City Hall, and Sheriff Casillas has offered us space in his public display at the Justice Center. And so that would be 3 public places. And then out of those, I would, 3 public places plus the county clerk recorder's office. And then out of those, I would designate 1 of those to be the official agenda posting spot.
And that would
Although
be this
in
spot.
practice, we've always put the agenda pretty much at all the other places as well, and the newspaper. The newspaper is a courtesy to the public.
So we'll still do the newspaper in the 3 locations.
Right, but the only ones that need to be designated are the 3 public locations, and then also the 1 spot to have the official agenda posting.
Well, I'm thinking the agenda should be posted here. The other 3
That's the
locations,
official spot.
everybody else okay with the other locations?
Yeah, yes, I'm fine.
And the courtesy one in the newspaper.
Newspaper.
Right.
All right, there it is.
We need a vote.
So need a motion on that.
Motion.
So, who wants to take a stab at a motion for that?
Okay, so I move that we place our meeting notifications at the county clerk and recorder's office, which is required, at our office, right, here. And the third one is Sheriff Casillas' office and City Hall. And that we continue to put the notification for, in the newspaper as a public courtesy.
And also 1 spot for
the agenda to be here.
And the agenda,
the official
agenda will be posted here at TAD. Amen.
All right.
We have 2 newspapers, ladies and gentlemen, in town.
Thank you for your comment. So that's been moved? Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Colleen Williams, yes.
Kelly Smith, yes.
Rob Bookback, yes.
And Rick Johnson. Okay. Number 11, you have on the agenda the bylaws, because we have some other things on our agenda. I'm recommending that we move that to our February meeting. Everybody's okay with that?
Agreed.
I think that was 10.
Okay, all right. And director's report.
Pretty much just went over it, contacting billing. Really have had no vehicle issues, and responses have been, this morning was, we actually had a Ford crew in. We had an out-of-town transfer we had to head on, and we had 2 other calls come in, so we actually had 4 calls in this morning, so that's the busiest I've seen it. Got to see, I think Hillary and Lloyd well, Hillary this morning, Lloyd at the hospital. So it's been busy. Other than that, it's just been dealing with the finances and the billing, trying to reconcile what we get from the billing company with what's reality of what's owed to us out there. So that's what I'm trying to get a handle on right now.
High priority. Any other questions of Dan? Okay. Executive session, I think, do we need an executive session?
If you want to talk generally about personnel, not specific individuals, but just a general personnel discussion, I think we can do that.
Okay, all right.
That'd be helpful.
All right.
You've got a nice topic for discussion. I'm gonna, topic for discussion of the executive session is general personnel, no specific individuals. And that is allowable by
CRS 246402 subsection 4F.
Okay.
We need a vote?
So we need a motion to move to executive session?
I move that we move to executive session.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Colleen Williams, yes.
Kelly Smith, yes.
Oh, Robert Beck, yes.
Joe Martinez, yes.
All right, Rick Johnson, yes. Okay, at 5:16, executive session, so we need to have, okay, Tom?
Will you be voting when you come out of executive session on anything?
I don't think so. I don't think so, no. Okay, thank you all for coming. You can certainly come in after executive session if you want to too. You stay on the-
That's a bad.
They're gonna look at it.